All right, so today we're diving into something called WayPointz, and this is a project that's been operating with a level of ambition and, frankly, secrecy that you just don't see very often, even in the wild world of tech. It's part game, it's part anti-bot system, and it might just be a blueprint for a whole new kind of internet. Let's get into it. This one quote right here from their own internal documents, this is the perfect place to start. I mean, it says it all. We all know proof of work, right? It's about raw computing power. And proof of stake is about locking up capital, putting your money where your mouth is. But WayPointz, they're proposing a third path, something completely different that isn't based on computers or cash, but on the physical world itself. So, what in the world is proof of physics? This is the absolute core of the entire project, and it's an idea that, if it works, could totally flip how we think about creating value online.
Okay, just think about what this means for a second. You can't mine this with a giant server farm somewhere. There's no way. The only way to generate value in this system is to literally move your body, to be somewhere in the real world and prove it. It's a system that's built from the ground up to reward actual physical human action, not just algorithms running on a machine.
But come on, how do you convince millions of people to start generating proof of their physical location? Well, you build a stunningly beautiful, almost irresistible augmented reality app. As their own documents say, the game is the honey. It's that sweet first layer designed to pull everybody in. And when I say slick, I mean it. They've developed this UI style they're calling Glassmorphism 2.0. You can see it in the code here, that heavy blur, that translucent background. It creates this effect where all the buttons and menus look like they're frosted glass just floating in front of you. It's meant to feel premium, almost like you could reach out and touch it. And check this out. It's a key part of their whole aesthetic, which they call Cyber-Arcane. They want all the important elements on the map to actually emit light, like there's some kind of alien tech. And you can see that signature fuchsia bloom, that pinkish glow. It's a really cool effect that just sells the whole fantasy. But here's what's really smart. This isn't just some pretty toy that only works on the newest, most expensive phones. No, they made a really critical decision to build a Flatland mode for older, less powerful devices. This is huge. It means even if your phone can't handle all the flashy 3D effects, you can still play, you can still participate. They chose function over flash, making sure the system works for everyone. So this is it. This is the polished exterior, the beautiful app icon, the honey that's meant to bring in millions of users. But what's it actually for? What's really happening underneath all this gorgeous design? Because underneath the game, there's this incredibly sophisticated, almost paranoid system. And its entire job is to verify one simple thing, that you are a real human being holding a real phone and not some bot running on a server somewhere. They actually call this their iron vow. So how do they pull this off? Well, you can think of it like a secret handshake. First, the server sends your phone a unique one-time challenge. Then, and this is the magic part, your phone's dedicated security chip, like a tiny vault built right into the hardware, signs that challenge with a secret key. That key can never leave the chip. It can't be cloned, it can't be copied. When the server gets that signature back, it knows without a doubt that it's talking to a real physical device. If not, instant ban. And they're not just making this up as they go, they're building on top of Google's mandatory Play Integrity API. And as you can see from this chart, this is a massive leap from the old system, SafetyNet. The key difference is that validation happens on the server, making it incredibly hard to cheat. All those tricks people used to use to fool the old system, they just don't work anymore. But, this kind of power has its limits. The Play Integrity API is only free for 10,000 checks a day. That might sound like a lot, but for a popular app, it's nothing. So this constraint actually forces them to be really clever. They can't check every little thing you do. Instead, they save their verification budget for the important stuff, the high-value moments. It's a really smart piece of economic design. And this right here brings us to the biggest twist in the entire story. The anti-bot technology, it's not just there to protect the game. The game is just a vehicle. The real product is the anti-bot system itself. This quote from their own strategy docs just lays it all out, plain and simple. The beautiful, glowing game is the honey to attract us, the users. The trap, well, the trap is for the bots. And the prize is for any business out there that needs to tell the difference between a real person and a machine. So this pivot from a game for you and me to a massive infrastructure for businesses, that's the whole play here.
The app itself is basically a loss leader. It's just a tool to gather data. The real money is in their Nexus Core API, a service they can sell to other companies. See, they're not in the business of selling our attention with ads. They're in the business of selling truth. They want to be the Visa for physical presence, an anti-bot layer for the entire internet. Now, if you think that sounds ambitious, you need to buckle up. Because now we're going to zoom out to the philosophical, almost cosmic ideas that are powering their entire economic model. This is where it gets really mind-bending. So, first problem. What happens when a popular spot in the real world gets too crowded? Their solution is a concept called digital sharding. Think of it like this. A popular landmark is like a single TV channel. Once it gets full, the system just creates more channels. Everybody standing in the exact same spot can be on their own personal augmented reality layer, seeing totally different things. It basically means they have infinite digital inventory in a finite physical space. Okay, next up, efficiency. How on earth do you map the entire world without going broke from database costs? Well, you don't. You map the flow, not the land. They took inspiration from the large-scale structure of the universe, focusing on what they call cosmic filaments. These are the high traffic routes, the train lines, the highways, and they mostly ignore the vast empty voids in between. They're building the skeleton of the world, not trying to skin the whole thing. And finally, how do you get people to play nice? You don't ask them to. You don't rely on them being good people. You rely on them being greedy. They use game theory, specifically a tit-for-tat strategy. It's so simple. The system treats you exactly how you treat it. You're honest, it rewards you. You try to cheat, it punishes you. Immediately. It creates this perfect balance where the most selfish, rational thing you can possibly do is to cooperate. So when you piece it all together, the game, the hardcore anti-bot tech, the pivot to a B2B API, and all this cosmic scale thinking, what's the endgame? What are they really building here? This quote, right here, just reveals the sheer scale of their ambition. In a world that's about to be flooded with AI, with bots, with deepfakes, what's the most valuable thing in existence? It's verifiable ground truth data, proof of reality. They're not just building a game. They're building a trusted library of what's real for a future that's going to be run by automated systems, the Jedi Archives for the robot economy. I mean, it is a project of absolutely staggering ambition. And it leaves us with a question that gets more and more important every single day. In a world that is filling up with digital noise and artificial everything, what is the real price of proof?